If you're 50 years old and you're hearing this message right now and you're like, man, how could I ever do that? I started my game when I was 51 years old. Literally. I was 51 years old. I had flown 3 million miles on American and Delta and United and Continental. I flew them all, and Southwest and Northwest. I flew them all. Did whatever I had to do. Most of the time I was flying coach. Most of the time I was flying coach in order and hoping for an upgrade. Sometimes I was just flying on award miles. I was doing everything I could, busting my ass, saving my money, parking my dough. I was flying, I don't know, probably 125,000 miles a year. I barely saw Elena. And Elena and I sat down one morning. We didn't have any kids yet. Boy, my right arm's starting to get tired. Holding this. And we said, hey, we got to change the game, man. I'm going to destroy my life, my health. I was 51 years old, flying commercial everywhere. And literally, we got on the same page, came up with a plan. Here we are today.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. If you're over 50 years old and you're hearing this message right now and you're not where you want to be, maybe you're married. Maybe your marriage is paying a price right now. You're busting your ass, man. And you're like, how do I ever get ahead? You see these people on these planes over here? Thank you. See these people on these planes? You're like, how do they do that? Look, you got to figure out, one, are you committed? Because a lot of you are just going to give up. You're going to be like I used to do that. You'd be like this. It's impossible to ever have this. Impossible. So number one, you got to be like, hey, it is possible. If I can do it, you can do it. If they can do it, look, it's possible. So first you got to say, hey, it's possible for me if it's possible for them.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more. And you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Grant Cardone, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy. Rule number 2, strive to be the best.
How'd you get started? Like, what was your first company? What did it look like? How did all that happen?
My first company was working for somebody else, you know, like until, it wasn't until I figured out how to make somebody else rich that I could be rich. Like, I hear a lot of guys saying, oh, I don't want to work for somebody else. I don't want to keep making other people. When I became successful in another company and then left that company and went and worked for another company and made them super successful, to the point to where these companies were literally dependent upon me. Like that's the thing, that's the muscle and the grit, the persistence and fortitude of like, you know what, my ego wasn't like, I need my name on it, but my ego was strong enough to say, I want to be the best in the company. Like, I want to make this company dependent upon me. The first real job I had was my 6th job. I was fired from my first 5. Fired from my 6th job 6 times, but wouldn't leave the last one. I just would not leave. So literally, like, I'd wreck stuff. I have a terrible driving record, and I was in the car business. And I'd wreck their cars, and they'd fire me. And I'd say, okay. And I had a bunch of other problems as well, and then before I would leave, I would go sell something, and then they would keep me on. Selling something was always forgiveness. So, when I finally left that company, they went under. Like, my production was so high that one person leaving, the entire company failed. Went to my next job, which was speaking, consulting, using my sales philosophies and gifts, if you will. And we would go around companies and teach them. And I worked for him for 20 months. I was like the top guy in his company. Now, the reason I'm saying that is that was a job for me, and that was a business. I treated my little department like this is my company within a company. And I wanted to make that company as strong as possible so that when I finally went out on my own, which I was forced to go out on my own. I didn't want to go out on my own. I went out on my own just because there was just no opportunity left. And there was no way for me to score where I was, which I still remember today. It's important to get good people to keep them, that like you got to give them some other pond to swim in. And so when I started my first company I guess I was 29. That was a company where I was cold calling on businesses around the US and Canada.
Rule number 3, master income creation.
3, the third thing the super successful do is they master income creation. I was asked this morning, I left my home at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was on a plane at 5, okay? And a guy asked me, he's like, dude, why are you still cranking so hard? Because I don't have any money. I'm always broke. I reinvest all the money. Every time I get any money sitting in accounts, I take it and invest it in hard assets. Illiquid assets. Illiquid so that I cannot get that money. That's what keeps me motivated, folks. I get money, liquid money. If it's not used, what? It's useless. Take it and I buy a hard asset that produces income. I'm broke, I gotta go hustle again.
Rule number 4, invest in valuable things.
I want to share with you the not so secret way that thousands, tens of thousands, actually millions of people are becoming millionaires in America today. They invest in assets that appreciate over time. They invest in assets, in IPs that they control, royalties they control, things that they know over time will increase in value, that there's a 99.9% chance that they're going to increase in value. And that's what they invest in. They don't make little bets, they make big bets, and they invest in things that they know will go up in value over time. That could be a sports team. Chances you buying a sports team are next to none. Same for me. So you got to start thinking about, okay, what assets can I do that with? Okay. Oh, wow. I'm going to go create the next big thing. I'm going to create an app and hundreds of millions of people are going to download my app. Okay. Chances of you doing that are, your chances are bigger than mine because I'm not even trying. There are assets out there today that are in your backyard. They're in your neighborhood. You don't have to buy a sports team. You don't need to be connected. You don't have to know how to write code or do tech. It's sitting there waiting for you right now. And it's one of the ways that I created the wealth that I have in my life. We have 11 businesses today. And then we have a real estate portfolio of 12,000 units, going to 40,000 units, and about $4 billion worth of real estate. Now, the 11 businesses that I own, man, they were so hard to create them, start them, manage them, guide them, hire people for them, advertise, market, get them known, like to organize it. We have hundreds and hundreds of employees in these companies, about 700 employees across these companies, most of which are startups. They're brand new. They don't have a lot of employees. A lot of risk, a lot of downside, a lot of problems, a lot of headaches, a lot of people. The real estate, almost no headaches. Compared to the value of the portfolio, very few people work at it. It appreciates in value over long periods of time. And that's what wealthy people do. They invest in assets. Real estate is one of the things they love.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Rule number 5, spend on the business.
The first 3 years I was in business, I made $30,000 a year.
3 years, first 3 years.
The last year I left somebody, I was making 150, 160 grand a year. The first maybe 27 months that I was in business, I made less than 30,000 a year. I went backwards. But the problem was I do what a lot of entrepreneurs do. The mistake a lot of entrepreneurs make is, number one, they never look up the definition entrepreneur. An entrepreneur means someone who organizes a business or businesses and invests money, takes greater than normal risk with money in order to expand or organize those businesses. I wasn't spending money on my business. Like, all I was doing was knocking on doors. It was just pure effort. I wasn't spending money. Like, I wouldn't spend real money until I was 50 years old. about 10 years ago when a guy said, bro, you're not a business. And I said, what? And I could feel this. Yeah, I was a hustler. I was a grinder, but I wasn't a business. And I could feel it, you know. Yeah, I was a consultant. I was making some money, like in my 30s and 40s. I made a lot of money. What other people would call a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I was not a business. You know what I mean? I was just.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I was just hustling. Just because you're hustling. Everything was a transaction.
Yeah.
Everything was a transaction to get money, pay the taxes, have a little bit of money left over. Everything was a transaction.
Yeah.
And this guy's like, well, you know, you're not a business. And I was like, I know, man, I know. Don't tell anybody. I know that, okay? Like, I knew it. And because to me, a business is I can walk away from it, it'll still operate. I was a guy. I was no different than when I was 30, just pounding doors. And which was good. And I think a lot of people you don't need to skip that spot either. Because once I put the two together, okay, I can pound the door. I can learn e-commerce. I can be a one product sale. I can sell to companies. Like today, we'll sell a product to a company for 80 grand on a 3 to 5 year contract, 80 grand a year. Yeah, wow. And I'll switch immediately and sell an $8 product online, or I'll give something away for free, to speaking to 4,000 people today in hopes that I can meet, you know, maybe 40 of them that I can have a partnership and a collaboration with in the future.
Rule number 6, look for cash flow.
They invest in assets of cash flow. Give me a drip. Let me rip. Give me a little drip. Give me something every month. Give me something every quarter. Give me something to reward me. 3%, 4%, 10%. Give me something to reward me to have a 10x big bang at the end of the appreciation of the asset. Warren Buffett says 3 rules. Don't lose money. 2, remember number 1, don't lose money. And number 3, only invest in things that cash flow. You know, Warren Buffett, he's a major player at Apple now. And it took him forever to get there. And the reason he finally invested in Apple was because he finally understood the cash flow of the iTunes account. It was crazy. That's when he made his big move. Every company he's ever invested in had positive cash flow. And cash flow enough that they could distribute cash flow.
Rule number 7, find the right vehicle.
We got to look at your vehicle. What vehicle are you in right now? Do you have any recurring revenue? Do you have any opportunities outside of what's going on right now? What are your assets and liabilities? If you're over 50 years old, you're just trying to figure out, man, what am I going to do? Because, look, time is critical now. You don't have a lot of time. You know that better than I do. You got to figure this game out, okay? If you're committed, number 1. Number 2, we got to look at the vehicle you're in. We got to look at, do you have any other additional income or recurring income or repetitive income, passive income, opportunities? There's so many that exist in the world today. If you don't understand YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, all these things, like I didn't understand any of this when I was 51 years old. I had no idea how to market myself. I'd never branded myself. I'd never done video like this before. I didn't know if I did a video, what I was supposed to do the video on. I did not have a product lineup. I was in one tiny vertical. I'd heard somebody say once, the riches are in the niches, and my niche was so tight, I wasn't right. I was wrong, because I was dependent upon this many people. I had to serve them, satisfy them, kneel down to them, and kiss the ring every day, and I got tired. If you're tired of kneeling down, kissing the ring, begging, putting up with bullshit from customers, and you're 50 years old, you're over 50 years old, and you're like, okay, I got to get recurring revenue. I got to get something that's indestructible. I got to figure out how to do this without spending a bunch of money. I can't disrupt my main flow right now. You got a job right now. You can't walk away from it. I get it. But you're running out of time. Okay, you got what? 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? You want to start enjoying some of the money, some of the production? It is beyond my imagination. I imagine you can't even imagine flying private. It's beyond my imagination that I'm getting rid of a plane and picking up another one. So if I can do this, I'm telling you guys, you can do this. Every time you see a private plane or a yacht or somebody living the life, just remember, if they can do it, you can do it. As long as you're committed to, if you find the right vehicle, just because you work hard does not mean you'll get it. You have to find the right vehicle. If you're in the wrong vehicle, you're in the wrong vehicle. Doesn't mean you need to quit your job right now. It does mean we need to figure out what the right vehicle is. And because of the internet, because of the access to the internet today, anybody, regardless of where you live, can figure out how to do this.
Rule number 8, think differently.
80, maybe 90%, maybe 95%, without being a doomsdayer. 95% of the people in the United States of America, the wealthiest country on the planet, are suffering. No money, no freedom, no choices, can't leave their job, tied down. And most of those 95%, most of them, some of them are earning big wages, 250 grand, 80 grand, 90 grand. Maybe you're in this group, 60 grand, 58,000, 78,000, 112,000, whatever number you're earning. If you look at the money left over at the end of the year, end of the month, or end of the week, there's not a lot of money left over. 76% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. 55% of Americans have no money in a savings account, okay? 90% of all the wealth in this country is owned by about less than 10% of all the people in this country. Listen to what I just said. You and I have been doing something wrong. We are using information that is outdated and no longer efficient for the kind of economy we're in today. Got all kind of disruption going on. You got to start thinking different about saving money, investing money, real estate, crypto, and do you go over many investments, or do you go hard on one? We need to look at what you have been taught about money that may be holding you back, that may not be the thing you need to be doing any longer. I'm here in Las Vegas right now. You know, when you walk in these casinos, almost everybody knows how to play blackjack. Almost everybody knows how to play the little games here. They even have books how to play the games. The guy gets a 6, he's got a 16, and the dealer's got a 6. He's like, oh, I'm not gonna hit that card. And he sits there and he gets beat all night because he's playing by the book. I figured out 2 things. I figured out, excuse the language, I've been doing everything wrong and thought it was right. I was doing exactly what the book said. Save your money, invest in mutual funds, plan for retirement, buy some life insurance. What was the other one? Work hard. Oh yeah, you gotta work hard. And you do, by the way. That's not a myth. But I know a lot of people that are working hard that end up with nothing. Like my parents. My dad worked hard, he died at 52 years old. Heart blew up in his chest from stress and overwork. Probably for not taking care of himself enough, because he was out there grinding, just pounding every day because he wanted to do one thing, take care of his family. Probably the same thing you want to do. Then my mom was left to raise 5 kids and only had a little bucket of money sitting over there in a savings account. So she's clipping coupons, terrified to spend anything, scared if the plumbing breaks, scared if the roofer comes over, scared, terrified every day to spend 1 penny, because she knew she was depleting the account that would take care of the family. Look, if you're experiencing any of these same things today, don't feel bad about yourself. Like you're not like, oh, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with you is you have the wrong information. You got the wrong information. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're stupid. It's because you have the wrong data.
Rule number 9, unlearn useless stuff.
You need to unlearn some. You need to unlearn some stuff that mom and daddy and your teacher told you. Your mentor, your last guy, whoever you're listening to, if what you have now hadn't got you where you want to go, what you have now in your head might be keeping you from where you want to go.
And rule number 10, the last one before some very special bonus clips, is multiply money.
Math and money.
Math and money.
Math and money. How old are you?
I'll be 9 in 3 days.
9 in 3 days. Okay,
Yeah.
math and money. So I'm going to give you adding, subtracting. You know how to do both of those, right?
Yes.
And I'm going to do multiplying.
Oh God.
Okay, now which of these 3 are the most important?
I think
When it comes to money,
when it comes to money,
let me show you. 1 plus 1,
1 plus 1.
or 2 plus 1 equals what?
3.
Okay, good. 2 minus 1 equals
1.
1. So we got 3, 1. 2 times 3 equals what?
Wait, that's simple.
2 times
6.
3. Yes. Okay, so which one of these is the most powerful when it comes to money?
I think multiply.
Yes. Why would that be?
Because if you have if you know how to multiply, right? And
Yeah.
you have $1, right?
Yeah.
And you're able to multiply that into $2, and you can multiply that $2 into 80, 100 million, thousand.
Whoa.
That's
We
the
can
number
get there
you need
faster,
to get.
right? Okay, so watch. I'm gonna give you a little drill here
Okay.
to show you the power of multiplying. Add,
Add,
subtract,
subtract,
multiply.
Multiply.
Okay, we're gonna use the same numbers every time. 2 plus 2,
2 plus 2, 4.
2 minus 2.
2 minus 2, 1. Oh wait, that's 0.
Okay, that's 4.
0.
2 plus 2 is 4.
Yeah, and then
2 minus 2 is 0. And 2 times 2.
2 times 2. It's 4.
Let's do this. We're gonna do another. Because we love 10s, right? Okay, we're gonna take the number 10, because I have it on my hat. 10x. Hey.
Wait, no, now you have the number 10 on your hat.
Okay, 10. And we're gonna do 10 plus 10.
What's that?
10 minus 10.
0.
And 10 times 10.
100.
So watch. 10 plus 10 is how much?
10 plus 10 is 20.
20. 10 minus 10?
0.
10 times 10.
100.
Now we're using the same numbers, but notice the multiplier, the number gets bigger a lot faster than the other two.
Yeah.
So what'd you learn from this exercise?
That we need to, that if you multiply,
Subtracting doesn't help you.
subtract, no, you gotta just gonna.
Okay, no subtracting.
No reason to learn this in school, kids.
Subtract.
I protest.
You know when people subtract stuff, what they're doing is they're like, okay, I'm gonna go to the store and I'm gonna spend this, I'm gonna budget my money. They're using subtracting
Yeah.
to determine how much money they can spend.
If you add, it's obviously going to be less than multiplying, because multiplying, you're timesing the number, so then it's obviously more, because like 10 plus 2 is going to be, that's
12.
12, but 10 times
2.
10 times 2 is going to be 20, so then
So
it's always
multiplying
gonna be
happens
more.
faster.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
I
okay?
know.
So when it comes to money, you want to add, subtract, or multiply.
You want to multiply mainly, and then use the other two for pesky things,
Pesky.
like stuff that's not needed.
You're awesome, buddy. Okay? So now what I have to do is I got to figure out how to go multiply my friends and my money so I can get Beyonce to come to the 10X
Okay,
book.
yes. Friends,
Can multiply friends. So rather than adding one friend, you could add 10.
multiply. We're just gonna write them down. And
Multiply
then
my friends, multiply my money. Good. Multiply my influence. You know how to spell influence?
No, I'm just gonna write it down.
ININFLUENCE.
Influence.
Multiply my power.
Power. Just
And
like it's supposed to.
and help more people. Because
Help.
if I can maybe I can help Beyonce or Dolly Parton or who else? Adriana. Or
Her name is
I don't think-
Ariana Grande.
Ariana. Sorry,
Just
Ariana.
remember her by the ponytail.
Okay, maybe Bryony Heine can get Ariana. You like Bryony Heine? Okay. All right. So, okay, if I can't get Beyonce and I can't get Adele
Can't get it done.
and I can't get
I think Jimmy Fallon will do it.
I can't get
Ariana.
Ariana, okay, and I can't get who else did you want? Dolly Parton,
Dolly Parton and Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon. Who else?
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
That's just the list.
I
of
can get
celebrities.
Kevin.
You can get Kevin. I believe in Kevin.
I already had Kevin. Okay?
I know. I want Kevin again.
You want Kevin again? You love Kevin, huh?
Kevin's cool.
Who
Because he's
else?
almost my height.
Who else? That's
I'm
funny.
sorry, Kevin.
Okay, who else you want? What about The Rock?
Yes, The Rock.
Okay, what about? Give me.
Jimmy Fallon can bring Ariana Grande.
Okay.
I either want Beyonce or Adele.
Okay.
Either
One or the
one.
other, not both of them together.
I mean, yeah, you can choose. I mean,
Okay.
I'll be perfectly happy with all of them, but.
Okay.
And then Ariana. Wait, I already said Ariana.
Yeah.
And then
Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton, and I'll be happy.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to invite one of those people or more.
Okay.
But
And then Kevin Hart has to be there.
but I need some, huh?
And then Kevin Hart.
And Kevin Hart. You want
And
Kevin
Kevin,
Hart again?
yes.
Already had Shorty.
But now we're best friends. Zac Efron. No,
You know who
I don't
Joe
care
Rogan
who
is?
that is. I want Zac Efron.
Oh, Zach? You want Zach
Zac.
Efron? Okay. All right. Well, you did your math class, so
Yeah,
I'm
now
going
I
to see
get
what I
Zac
can do to
Efron.
get one or two of these people. 10X woke me up. 10X was not for the public. 10X was for me. I was trying to figure out why am I work hard. I got great products, got a great reputation, great reviews. People like me. They like my content.
They like my content actually better than they like me. That might have been an exaggeration, you know what I mean? But even if they didn't like me, they're like, dude, your content's so ridiculous. It's so good. Like whether it's sales, closing, marketing, promotion. And a lot of it, I wasn't even taking my own advice. Like I was giving advice and not taking it. So when the economy crashed, which was, I guess, almost 10 years ago, in America particularly, it was so devastating that if you had any weakness in a business, like every weakness was showed. You know, Warren Buffett talks about, hey, what are you wearing when the tide goes out? Well, dude, in 2008, 9, and 10, when the tide went out, every weakness that I had exhibited, hard work did not leave you less vulnerable in 2010. You could have worked hard and still, you'd be upside down in your house, you could lose everything, your cash accounts are garbage, stock got wrecked, everything, right? So 2010 was really the whisper, you're not a business, son. That was the big, hey, you're not a business. And that's when I made a decision, okay, I'm gonna build a business. First thing I did was flipped everything. I'm not a sale, I realized I wasn't sales first. I could no longer be sales first. I had to be marketing first, marketing and branding. So the 10X thing was really like, hey, you gotta get your, people knew me in a particular industry, they didn't know me in every industry. So the first thing that I took on was I need to get people to know me in every industry while I continue to knock on doors and pay my bills. If you don't pay your bills, like, you're gonna die. And there was people around me that needed to eat. So I had to keep knocking on doors, spin that plate, not get stuck in it too much, and then figure out how do I market and brand? How do I build a name? Nobody knew me. 10 years ago, you did not know my name. No. People watching didn't know my name. Like, people that are coming on the scene now, they're like, oh my God, that guy, he's got 14 million people following him, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, I started with one follower just like everybody else, and I was the follower. My second follower was my wife, because I created an account for her on YouTube and said, you're gonna follow me. So same thing on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Like, I've grinded for every one of those followers and delivered content to them so that I could scale out to hopefully, rather than being dependent upon one United States of America, hey, how do I get people in Australia to know me? How do I get them to want me to come here? How do I get people in London to want to know me? Canada, South America. Oh, I got to be in Spanish if I'm going to South America. You know, you can't trade in US dollars in Mexico. You need to be in pesos. Come over here, they want to do the AUD. I'm like, I don't want any of that stuff. Just kidding, I'll take it all. Okay, so you know, you got to keep growing. Like, Facebook is growing. They're growing all the possibilities of things they can do with people. So if you want to be a great business, you can't get to a place where you're satisfied. And I had done that. I'd gotten satisfied in my business, externally, financially, but internally I wasn't. And it took the economy just getting slashed that finally, like, okay, I got to change and build a real business here. Human beings are trapped in, as spiritual beings, they're trapped. This is what I believe. I believe the spiritual being is trapped in a body. Okay, I believe I'm a spiritual being, not a human being. The spiritual being would have tremendous potential, unbelievable potential. It would be the light on the candle, not the candle. The body would be the candle, okay? And the spiritual being would be the flame. I'm the flame. And I want to see, how hot can I burn? Okay, how far can I go? How much light can I bring to the world? How much positive truth message can I bring this planet? How much more can I do? And I think the problem is people are settling out with just enough. Pay the bills, take care of my family, get my little box, get my little house, put my little welcome mat on the front, put the little gate around the yard. We're all gonna be happy. I don't want the box. I don't want one location. I don't need the welcome mat. I want to know the world. I want to travel the world. I want to do more. I want to be in more places. I want to have friends in every country. I want to inspire people in every language. And I want other people to see, and they can do the same thing, you know? And maybe at the end of all this, I just become everybody's uncle that I never had.
If you're a business owner, you have to see the future. If you're an entrepreneur, you have to look forward into the future. What's going to happen next? If you're driving a car, it's responsible to look ahead. Everybody agree? If you're skiing down a mountain, you might want to keep your attention out in front of you. If you're riding a motorcycle, you might want to not pay attention to right where you are, but where you're going. Pay attention to the future.
What dreams and goals do you have that are more important than the money you have? Invest money to hit your targets. Quit telling yourselves lies about money. Exchange money. The only purpose of money is to exchange money for time and connections. The only reason you have money is to exchange money for time and people. You need people, folks. You need people, man. You're going to grow your business with people that work for you and people that you sell products to. Be so obsessed with the idea of freedom and making a difference that you will do anything. Anything. I'll go into debt. I'll spend my last dollar. This is how you're going to be successful, folks. I'll borrow money from my mom. I'll borrow from my dad. I'll borrow from family members. I'll go raise money. I'll go beg on a street corner. I'll go sell t-shirts and hats. Failure after failure. I'm obsessed so much with my freedom that I'm willing to talk to people even if I'm an introvert. Okay? I'm willing to go talk to old people if I'm young. I'm willing to go talk to young people if I'm old. I'm willing, if I'm out of work, I'm willing to go take a dumb sales job just to get my feet back underneath me. Become so obsessed that everybody's like, what's wrong with you, man? You change it. You gotta change your friends. Whoa. If you're friends, you need to make these people your friends. People that have time to get away, people that are working, people that are creating. Surround yourself with people that are doing things, that are seeking to be better. I was hanging around people that were destroying themselves every day. People that were criticizing others that were successful, that were wasting time. Beautiful rock. They weren't looking for anything except how everybody else was wrong, how they had been wronged. I know because I was doing this. Spent all my time talking about how the rich guy that had his kids in tennis classes and golf classes, and they had a boat and they went skiing, how he was such a prick. And when reality, oops, sorry guys, didn't mean you to hear that.
I didn't hear that.
When in reality, she didn't hear that. When in reality, I should have been looking at, dude, what did this guy do to create a situation where he could pay for his kids to learn tennis, if they want to, golf, and skiing? I was asking the wrong questions. I would tell my 20-year-old self, change the questions you're asking. Change the way you look at things. Quit being so resentful and hateful. You know, get your game together.
My business is kind of different. I own a hair salon, and I have started a brand for myself and probably went about it the wrong way. I started it doing booth rental instead of commission. And in the business, I'm kind of maxed out at making as much as I can make for the size. So I know I need to expand, but I also know that I have to be taken serious as a woman. And I feel like it's a difficult thing to do. And I don't want to do it the wrong way this time. So I don't really know how to be taken seriously. I'm petite, I have blonde hair, I always have crazy fingernails, or sometimes it's purple, sometimes it's blue.
Yeah.
So I guess the question would be, where do I go from where I'm at?
Dude, get a lot of attention. I think you just got to get a lot of attention. You know, everything, the red, the blue, the long nails, the short nails, anything that gets attention. Like, you have to get people's attention. You guys have to get interesting. So, again, she doesn't like some of the things I do. I have to do that. I believe in my mind I have to do some of that to capture attention. Whether that's true or not true, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's not true. You know, I know this. If somebody wants to have a movie and it wants to be a great movie at the theaters, they got to get a lot of attention to get somebody to go to the movie. You got to be willing to get people not to like you.
And what does that look like?
You have to be willing
like just
to,
by promoting so much that you irritate people. Like, what does it mean to get people not to like you?
Rush Limbaugh, who's a pretty divisive guy, says, you know, the people that love him listen to him 2 hours a day, and the people that hate him listen to him for 4 hours. People that hate him listen to him for 4 hours a day. So I'm just saying, everybody wants to be liked. Everybody wants to be the popular person. You guys got to be willing to tell people your hair looks terrible.
Oh, I mean, I do. I'm actually very, very good at my job. I just don't know how to take it to the next level, I guess. Maybe I'm scared, or I have money
what's your
saved.
website? What's your Facebook?
And it would...
Right there?
Nope, the one underneath that.
See, I don't have a picture of you. So I'm going to go, is that you?
Yes.
Or is that your kids?
Well, there's a picture of me, and then it's my daughter.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't want to see your daughter right now. I want to see you, right?
I have a hair therapy page. It's under hair therapy.
Yeah. I see hair therapy. I see it right here.
Mm-hmm.
So like, right, okay, now we got the dogs.
Yeah.
But now, she's a veterinarian.
Right.
So like, okay, now I got hair. Okay, that's good. Before and after round. Like you guys got to like get clear on what the message is, right? You need a business page.
Right.
The trick is you got to get attention. Elena just wrote a book called Build an Empire, okay? She has to get attention for the book, which means leak out data about the book. Not about anything else but that book. What is it? What chapter? What audio? What am I listening to? Why am I listening to it? What do I get out of it? Like constant pushing into whatever you do with hair therapy.
Okay.
And see, good, but dinner date. But what do I do with the dinner date?
Yeah.
See, like you... This is where everybody's like, when's enough, man? When do you just enjoy yourself? I don't know. I'm going to enjoy myself when I'm in a position to just enjoy myself. You live on an economic planet, regardless of your race, regardless of where you came from, regardless of your religion. You live on a planet that has two things on it. Gravity, I can't fly, and I'm reminded every day of gravity, right or wrong. Every day. I'm reminded of it so much, I don't even know that it's not normal that I shouldn't be able to jump 7 feet. Right? And number two, money. Every day you are reminded this is a financial planet. Okay? I got a little credit. I don't have any cash on me today. None. Because I'm a real estate guy. Real estate guys are always broke. Okay? But I got me a little card. I can use this to open boxes. And I can use it to buy a box, right? See, how many of you were told all credit cards are bad? How many have been told debt is bad? How many have been trained that? Oh, all debt is bad debt. I got about $500 million worth of debt. I got to tell you, I love it almost as much as my wife and kids. I do love it, man, because it generates income for me. Now, I'm telling you all this to tell you, look, you have been miseducated. If you're having trouble with money, it is because you have the wrong data. It's not because you're stupid. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you have a bad job. Okay, I've had all those excuses. You have the wrong information. The first 25 years of my life, I used the information that is being disseminated by TV and mass media. Save your money. Say yay if you heard that one. Okay, you were brought up on that one. If you were brought up poor middle class, say yay. No. You can't say it like that. Say it like you're proud. Yes, I was poor. Say yay. No. Were you brought up poor or middle class? Oh. I'm going to tell you something. It's going to take you forever if you don't get your fucking enthusiasm right. Look, if you're poor, admit it. But damn, I'm poor, and then hate it. Because you shouldn't be. If you're in the middle, by the way, if you're middle class and you got 3 meals a day, you got a car out there you can make the payments on, you got a little education that you think is worth something and it's not, okay? And you got a good mom and a good dad and you were brought up in a good family, good for you, but dude, that don't pay the bills.
Do you ever ask yourself, dude, when are you going to make it? Do you ever suffer from this idea that you could do more than you're doing? And no matter how much people around you love you or, oh, you're doing great, pat you on the back, you're doing phenomenal, amazing. I've been told my whole life I was doing amazing. I remember I was 29 years old. I was the leading salesperson where I worked. I mean, I wasn't the best salesperson. I was the best salesperson by like 3 or 4 people. Breaking records, doing stuff that had never been done. Everybody's telling me how great I was, and I was like, but I know I can do more. I don't know if that's suffering, some kind of like mental disease, some kind of never satisfied with. I've heard all these people talk about, I remember the guy said, hey, your disappointments in life are equal to your expectations, suggesting that you not have expectations. And if you lower your expectations, then you won't have disappointments. I gotta tell you, man, I can't even make sense of that. I'm like, I have to have expectations of myself. I know I can do better. I know I can do more. So if me having big expectations of myself and I'm gonna be disappointed from time to time, that's the way it's gotta be. The one other thing that I would tell my 20-year-old self, look, I own 7 businesses. And I would not tell the 20-year-old Grant to go get six businesses. I would tell him to learn everything he can about real estate. Everything. Real estate is the business that's allowed me to go on these magnificent trips that I'm taking my family on. I've been in business for myself for 30 years. Okay? 6 businesses combined do not allow me to go on these trips. It is the real estate by and of itself that's allowed me to take my wife and kids, employees, partners, friends on these magnificent trips. When you're hating on somebody in your same space, right, or they're hating on you, remember this, you keep focused on creating massive, massive success. Okay, because when you get up to the top of the food chain, whatever the food chain is in your space, whether it's financial or insurance or real estate or influencers or podcasters, or maybe you're doing a real business. You're not doing it. You're not an influencer and you're not a podcaster. You're like, why are all these guys spending all this time doing podcasts? I got a business to grow. I got employees. Maybe you're doing that. So, what's my point? Anytime you watch any of my videos, you say, dude, what's the guy really talking about? I'm doing this for you. I don't get paid to do it. So if you're getting any value out of this, I'm telling you, when you get up the food chain, and you will because you're watching me, you will get up the food chain. You will become a super successful person, but you won't if you hate. You will not become super successful if you take the time to worry about these other people in your space. Flow and power, man. Love on them. Send them love, send them customers, send them deals. But don't be surprised when they don't send it back. Because they're not. No book tells you this. All these guys doing their little quotes, talking about abundancy, scarcity, but watch how they act when you get up there, man. Watch it, man. It's going to be crazy. You're going to be like, Cardone told me. While I was eating snow, the dude told me that they were going to hate on me. I had somebody call me the other day and said, hey, dude, I want to give you some, you need to know how to handle some of these situations you're running up against, okay? Because there's a way for you to prevent some of this. These people hating on you. I said, dude, I'm not going to try to prevent somebody from being stupid. That's just dumb. I got enough insurance in my life already. Most of the time, the accident never happens. The way to ensure that these haters and criticizers and little thinkers don't bother you is don't be them, number one. Number two, keep flowing them love and power, baby. Number three, get to the top. Get to the top of the food chain, where everybody at the top knows you. And the people that wouldn't flow you on the way up or wish they didn't do what they did. We saw the fight last night. Just goes to show you, man, you can't take 8 months off, 8 months of drinking and showing off and bragging and running your mouth. You can still get cracked. You got you know, huh? Yeah, too many days off, man. Too many days off. You got to pay the price every day, folks. Otherwise, you lose. Period. You will get beat. You're going to get beat in the marketplace if you don't train every day. I'm wearing my Cardone University t-shirt because if you don't train every day, don't expect to make the sale.
If you don't train every day when you leave here, do not expect your people to follow up. If you don't train every day, do not expect your people to answer the telephone correctly. If you don't train every day, do not expect your people to be motivated to do the right thing. If you don't train every day, if you don't require training every day, if it's not mandatory every day, you will not get the cash flow. You will get just enough money to pay the bills. And by the way, everybody's got that figured out. Everybody on the planet has figured out how to pay their bills. Even people that don't have any money are figuring out how to eat. Everybody agree? So don't be bragging about your bicycles and your 2 BMWs and your country club that you paid for and the roof over your head and you paid your utilities and your gas. And don't tell me that, oh, somebody else has got it worse than you. Of course somebody else has got it worse than you. I hear this all the time from people. Okay, somebody gets whacked, they have a bad situation happen, they're like, but I'm grateful. What do you mean you're grateful, man? You're filing bankruptcy. I know, but I still got my health. But you don't have your financial health. You shouldn't have gone bankrupt. You should have prepared for it. Don't make sense of the failure, okay? If you're taking notes, quit making sense of the failures. I want to talk to you about the cash flow. I'm talking about the cash flow, not the snow. I'm talking about getting that third flow. You work, your wife works. Yeah, y'all cracking some smack daddy money. You getting some long green. You made your first $1 million last year. That's right, between the two of you, after you paid your taxes, you end up with 4 or 5, maybe 600, if you know how to play the game. But what you don't have is number 3. Your cash don't work. You got scared once you put away your first milli. You and the wife are like, oh no, what do we do now? You called your uncle, not me, not Uncle G. You called your other uncle, the confused uncle. He said, pay the house off. You called your financial advisor. Start investing in 401ks and the IRAs. And then you saw something I said about cash is trash. A home is dumb equity. What are you doing, folks? Get that third flow. It's like a good snowstorm, baby. You need that third flow when you can't work, you can't crank, you can't create. The third flow of income is the one you buy. You take your dead money, cash is trash. Take that dead money and get it invested in hard assets and only make a decision to invest in those things that pay you cash flow. You invest cash, you get back cash every single month.
Okay, I want to tell you a story. When I grew up, my first failure happened in a baseball park. I had a dream that I would be a professional baseball player. And I lost that dream to drugs. You guys, don't give up on your dreams. Okay, don't give up on your dreams. I'm not here to jack you up. I'm not here to get you excited. I'm here to be an example. I'm not your friend. I'm your Uncle G. Do 2 minutes with me every day. 2 minutes. I go to the gym and work out every day, 6 days in a week. All I ask you to do, turn on your computer, spend 2 minutes with me every day. Stop the Netflix. Give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. You give me 2 minutes every day, I'll change your life forever.
Muhammad Ali said he was the greatest. I am the greatest. He said that before he got in the ring. I know a lot of you out there think you're like, I am the greatest, but dude, you ain't the greatest. You're out there like, I'm living the dream. You ain't living the dream. That ain't the dream you're living. So when you're hearing this and you're like, man, I like what he just said. Yeah, because you agree with it or you needed it. Because if you agreed with it, that doesn't help you grow. Things that I agree with do not get me my growth. Growth is typically painful. It hurts. Doesn't feel good. I have to push through it, right? Think about the tree roots growing. They're having to push through cement. Probably doesn't feel good. So are you pushing through cement? Are you getting that extra segment in? Are you doing this every day? You know, are you pushing for the sale? If you can't push yourself, how are you gonna ever push somebody else? In the completion of an activity, in the successful completion of an activity is where, ladies and gentlemen, you will find yourself, okay?
I don't end up doing things that are destructive when I'm busy doing things that are constructive. The truth is, I was never a drug addict. I just had too much free time and made bad choices. This planet is filled with bad choices. Pornography, strip joints, casinos. If you were filled up all day long with activities, if you were addicted to productivity, if you were junkied out on potential, you wouldn't have time for all the other garbage. I wouldn't spend money on stuff I don't need. When is that money spent? When do we waste most of our money on this planet? During the holidays, when we have free time. When do you spend your money? When do you go in debt? On the holidays, free time. So if I can just stay busy, if I can use time and create time. How do I create time? I have 24 hours and I'm gonna jam as much in those 24 hours as I can, and then I'll let you worry about me burning out, because that's what I'll hear next. What about burnout? When you're gonna burn out? Look, I'm 60 years old. The more I do, the more I can do, and the younger I get. The more I do, the younger I feel. The more I do, the younger my body feels. I'm not gonna burn out. I'm not a candle. I'm not wax.
Yo, hey, a lot of people talking about showing up. Some people denigrating on my showing up rule. It is, ladies and gentlemen, not 80% of success, regardless of what anyone tells you. It is probably more like 99.9% of success. And anybody that says otherwise is just trying to get some attention unnecessarily, because I already love all you guys. Check it out. Like, if you don't show up, you have no chance of anything happening. And once you show up, physically show up, then you got a chance of the rest of you showing up and you being unbelievable superstar. But if you don't show up for the audition, the sales call, the speaking gig, whatever it is, you don't show up for work, man, nothing. If you don't show up and buy that lottery ticket, you can't win it. Then you got to get a little lucky, then you got to persist, then you got to do all the other things you got to do, but first you got to show up.
Look, man, I've been labeled OCD, ACD, compulsive obsessive, COD, bipolar. You know, they wanted to put me on lithium, Prozac, all this medication, okay? I mean, real, like serious drugs. I'm not talking about smoking weed on the weekends. And that was supposedly to handle my energy or my creativity or the fact that I didn't like sitting in a chair for 45 minutes at a time in school listening to a history class of something that happened 300 years ago that had nothing to do with me, when I'm sitting there saying, hey, listen, I just want to learn how to make some money, man. So, you know, it's finally when I quit letting everybody, all these average people, label me and said, you know what, I'm going to take this obsessive, compulsive, this whatever this energy is that has been, you know, made wrong by society. I'm going to take this energy and I'm not going to suppress it anymore. I'm going to use it. So for all the kids out there, teenagers that are being mislabeled, millennials a label, man. Introvert is a label. Lazy is a label. Nobody's lazy. Nobody is born lazy. These labels are being given to people incorrectly. And the truth is, nobody's actually lazy, okay? You're not born lazy. You're made lazy. You're allowed to be lazy. You're encouraged to be lazy. You're surrounded by a bunch of people that are lazy, and then you become lazy. People that are being labeled OCD, ADD, ADHD. I think they're geniuses. It's waiting for you. There's this big gift sitting there waiting to bubble up. Don't medicate it and don't push it down. Give it a voice. Let it be greatness and genius rather than something bad.
You need to learn how to communicate with people. Okay, the site here says, the PowerPoint says, learn to become a professional salesperson. When I think of the professional salesperson, I think about a professional communicator. Someone who knows how to make contact. Someone who knows how to control a conversation. I don't think about a swindler. I don't think about a tricky dude. I don't think about a huckster. I don't think about a scam artist. I think about, dude, this guy showed me something I didn't know. You know how many things that I almost bought were the wrong thing, but a professional salesperson with a full pipeline said, no, dude, you don't want that. One of the best salespeople I know, okay, a guy named Robert, I'm not gonna give his last name because I don't have permission. I'm sure he wouldn't mind. $25 billion worth of real estate. Hey, Robert, is this a good deal? Yeah, you know, but that's not the one I would do. I would buy this one over here if I were you, okay? See, he's a professional. He's a communicator. He'll tell me when I'm doing wrong. He'll tell me when I'm right, tell me when I'm wrong. He'll challenge me. He's not playing games trying to like match tones. I saw this video the other day, matching people's tone. Did you see it? Okay, get right at the right moment. At the right moment. Lower your voice. And I don't want to do that. I'm talking about a professional salesperson that doesn't have to rely on tricks because their pipeline's so big. There's 7 billion people on the planet that are qualified and interested in buying your product. You do not need to trick people, and that's why so many people think commission, I don't want to be a salesperson, equals I don't want to be a huckster. Well, you don't have to be if you're a professional. My mother was there for me when I didn't need her to be there for me, okay? She never let me down, but that doesn't mean she pushed me up. You understand the difference? My mom was a great mother. She was always there for me. It didn't mean she pushed me up to the next level though, because every time I went to my mom and said, Mom, let me tell you what I'm doing, she would be like, that's awesome. But just, son, remember, I love you just the way you are. How many of you have a parent that will tell you that? Just remember. I was 50 years old and she would still tell me that. She's 70, she was 78 at the time. She's like, just remember, I love you just the way you are. You've done enough. When's enough, Grant? You're doing fine, Grant. I love you just the way you are. Love yourself the way you are, Grant. I'm like, but I don't. I can't lie to myself. I do not love I don't. Chuck knows what I'm talking about. Chuck hates himself. Chuck knows he can do more. Chuck, am I right, Chuck? And then he's trying to communicate that to his wife for his wife to get it. And his wife is like, Chuck, what's wrong with you? Are you broken? Chuck, you need a therapist. Okay? And then he's going to go see the therapist like I did. And the therapist is going to be like, oh yeah, you got ADD. You got the OCD. You got the OPD. You got the OCD, ACD, DDD. You know? I said, no, I got the OSD. I'm obsessed with success disease. I'm obsessed. And I want my damn $200 back. Don't tell me I'm ADD. I take an offense to that. Okay, I don't add, I multiply. I'm trying to figure out how to run 70 businesses and have 70,000 employees. I'm not worried. What you worried about? You worried about how many browsers I got open in my mind? The people that operate this planet, the handful, the 1%ers, have different information than you have. Okay? They're not talking about going to college. They're not talking about saving money. You don't hear wealthy people talking about, I need to buy a house. Warren Buffett, you know Warren Buffett? Warren Buffett is not like, I need to buy a house. I have to have a home to live in. Warren Buffett bought one house his whole life. He never talks about it. What's he buying? He's buying businesses. What's he investing his money in? Businesses, right? He's not buying a house where money dies. When Steve Jobs died, where did his money come from? Apple. One place was Apple. He owned some Apple stock. But that was not the majority of his wealth. Majority of Steve Jobs' wealth when he died was from? iTunes. No, iTunes is Apple.
Royalties.
No. It was an investment. Look it up. What's the name of the company? Everybody's going to know the name of the company.
Pixar.
Pixar. He was one of the 3 founders of Pixar. That's where most of his wealth was, from investments. So to get to the top of the food chain, to get to the legacy wealth, to be able to leave your family something, which is really what everybody wants to do. Once you have the BMWs, you have the BMWs. Once you have the country club, you have the country club. Once you have the Gucci belt, you have the Gucci belt. Once you go on a yacht trip, you go on the yacht trip. Once you fly first class, well, you've done it. Even when you go out and buy your own plane, you've done it. At some point, you're going to be like, okay, now what? Now what? When do I start giving back? You're not going to give back to society until you create indestructible wealth, which is really what everybody wants to do. Everybody wants to give more and help out more and make a difference. How many of you want to change? 2 things if you want to change. Number 1, you got to change.
You want to change a little bit? Change a little bit. You want to change a lot? Change a lot. To change, you got to change. And number two, you have to learn how to talk to people. You got to learn how to communicate. You have to learn how to stand on a stage and communicate. Maybe it's not this stage. Maybe it's not 35,000 people. Maybe it's one person. That's a stage. Your house is a stage. You're going to talk to your spouse. Your business is a stage. You're going to be talking to the Treasury Department, selling them. Stop the madness. Stop the madness. We're not going to save money here. We're going to make money here. We're going to go get money here. You're going to have a stage with your lawyer. Your lawyer's going to say, don't do it. Stop the madness. You're a lawyer, dude. I'm running a business. Tell me how we can do it. I don't ask lawyers and accountants for business advice. Record the data, you're an accountant. Do the job, you're the lawyer. Let me run the business into the ground. Okay, if we're gonna run it into the ground, we're gonna do it Grant's way. Not the lawyer's way, and not the accountant's way. Two things you gotta do to change, folks. You gotta change, and you need an audience.
First thing you got to do is decide, as a business owner, do I want to make more money? See, if this dude with the camera, if his pockets are empty, he's walking around empty pockets, and he's got his fancy camera. This is the problem with the artist. They starve their whole life. They starve their entire life, and then you wonder why they're grumpy. There's no money. I'm eating at Little's all the time. Sooner or later, you hit the reality. He hits the reality. I got a nice camera. I love taking photos. I got to shoot Grant Cardone. He watches Lord Sugar leave on his jet and says, hey, why does he get to fly free everywhere, do whatever he wants, and I'm stuck with my camera and no money? How many believe that? Sooner or later, after days of going to work, months of going to work, years of going to work, sooner or later, if he works for this man, he's like, I resent this man. I resent this man. I resent that man, business owner. I resent Paul McFadden, the business owner. I resent you, so I know I won't work for you. In fact, what I'm going to do is screw things up for you. It's called disengagement. The only business people that will survive, the only entrepreneurs that will make it in business are those people that decide to grow their businesses. Little will fail. Not the little grocery store. Okay? If you try to stay small, you will fail. Okay? I'm telling you this from personal experience. I tried to stay small. I tried to manage the business. I tried to be the king of the business. I tried to have no employees because employees cost money. I'm like, I'm not going to have any employees. I'm not going to pay the cameraman. I'll just hire him when I do a gig. And the next time I'll hire another guy. And that'll keep my expenses low. How many are brought up like this? Keep the expenses real low where we can manage the expenses. The expenses are going to be so small that no matter how much we make, I keep it all. You have to advertise. You have to advertise in your career to blow your brand up. You cannot not advertise and save money. It cost me probably 400. Should I even say a number this big? Yes. Or do I lose everybody? No, say it. $400 million we have estimated is what it cost me because I didn't advertise for the first 20 years of my career. But before you spend $1 in advertising, and even if it was wasted, it'd be a great dollar to spend. Even if you don't get a return, you should do it. But before you do that, what you need to do is spend a lot of time, energy, and resources on branding. I made a mistake here not spending more money in advertising. I made a bigger mistake not spending more time, energy, and resources on branding. And you are making a mistake if you do any kind of metrics on did it convert? Did it pay off? Branding will not pay off. Zero. You will get a zero return if you don't brand. Okay, you will get a zero return for branding in the beginning. You will never get a return on advertising if you don't brand. Branding is a must. It is senior to advertising.
You hang around guys and gals, my friends. You hang around people that are changing will not change you. I know this whole mastermind thing, we have masterminds, I believe they're great, they're awesome. But if Ryan back there hangs around me and I'm changing, that don't mean he's gonna change. So look, I've seen this for 30 years. I've gone places where the only reason everybody went there was because they were working on themselves, changing, improving, courses, classes, education. Elena and I, actually, great story about Elena and I. The only reason people went to these places was to improve themselves, okay? I gotta tell you something. Only about 10% of the people that went there flew. They were changing. They were actually making the changes. The other people were hanging around people changing. Just because you're around people changing doesn't mean you are gonna change.
You got to do the work.
To change, my brothers and sisters. You got to change. You know, Ryan hangs around me. If I change my clothes, that don't mean he changes his. If everybody in the house changes their clothes, takes a shower, put some deodorant, it don't mean if Ryan does not change his clothes and take a shower and put on his deodorant, he gonna stink.
Dropping bombs.
To change, you gotta change. It doesn't matter how many people you hang around that are changing. If you hang around everybody just getting rich, getting wealthy, doing great, creating stuff, and you're not gonna change. To change, you got to change.
I heard a man tell me once, he's like, Grant, money won't make you happy. I'm like, son, you ain't got any money. Quit giving advice on something you failed at. Right? If you're taking notes, you want to write this down. Never, ever, ever, ever take advice from a quitter. Never, ever take advice from a quitter, particularly financial advice. The first question I asked you today was this: do you want to make more money? Then quit taking advice from people about money that don't have any money. This used to be a goal of mine, to make $1 million a year. That was my goal when I was 35 years old. One day, I said to myself, self, little G-dog, one day, young man. I wrote this over and over and over again. I talked to myself in the mirror. I'd sit on the toilet and say, one day, I'm gonna make $1 million. One day. And people used to tell me, that's crazy, dude. Like, why do you think so big? This is when people were telling me not to. They're like, why do you need to do all that? Why do you just be happy? Just be a good person, okay? Be happy that you live in America. Be happy that you have meals, and be happy you got good health, and all the things that the people around you that quit on money, that quit on financial freedom, that quit on possibility, that quit on their potential, all the things those people will tell you to try to convince you to quit. When in reality, what they're really trying to do is make sense of why they quit. Note to self. Okay? Last month, I distributed $1.2 million to other people. Okay? It's not money I made. It's money I sent out. So it just goes to show you how small I was thinking when I was 35 years old.
This is I'm at the Beverly Hills Hotel today. If you've never stayed here, you have to, okay? Every single day that I have been here, I have met someone that will help me in my career.
I can't go.
They don't tell you this in school. They don't teach you this. Your parents didn't teach you this. You have to go where the money is. Money is not just, okay, I'm going to buy a Lamborghini, and I'm going to buy a big house, and I'm going to buy some jewelry, and I'm going to get some nice sunglasses, and I'm going to go buy a big watch, and I'm going to go on vacation. It's about going where other people are that have money and that can help you. That can help you so you can help others, so you can help your parents, so you can take care of them, so you can take care of your kids, so you can be a good example. Look, money's not going to make you happy. You guys already know that. Everybody knows that. I don't even know why we're talking about it. Money will not make you happy. But it'll get you an Uber. It'll get you an Uber. It'll get you a hotel room. It'll get you access to the Polo Lounge. It'll get you breakfast this morning to sit at the right place with the right people, that maybe someone discovers what you're doing, what you're up to, and that takes interest. Every single breakfast, every single lunch that I've been here, and every single dinner that I've been sitting out in public, I have met someone that can literally help me with my career.
Do you want to make your business bigger? I know this seems really simple, but the reality is, if it's not simple, I don't care where you are on planet Earth, whether you're in Wales, I'm going to go to Glasgow tomorrow, we're going to leave here and go into Spain, I'm going to do Russia in about 3 months, I'm going to go back to Miami and do business in Miami. No matter where in the world I am, folks, if it's not simple, you're not going to make money. Listen to what I'm telling you. If it's not simple, you will not make money over long periods of time. It's got to be simple for other people to understand it.
The guy invests $5,000. He's got $5,000 in the bank. Another guy's got 50 grand in the bank. And another guy's got $500,000, okay? All three of these people invested money with me. This is Cliff, this is Dave, and this is Jennifer, okay? Cliff sent me 5 grand. Dude, it was his last 5 grand. It was as hard for him to do this as this guy to do that. Do you understand? Okay? This guy earns, I don't know, he's gonna earn $300 a year. This guy's gonna earn $3,000 a year. This guy's gonna earn $30,000 a year. But they all had to start with this. They all start with $5,000. Everybody starts with $5,000, including Jennifer right here. She's got a 5, just another 0. All of them had to make a decision. Should I keep the money? This is where the opportunity comes in. You got to think in terms of opportunity costs, okay? Is my money better in the bank, or is my money better in an asset that can grow over time, okay? Do I buy a watch? Okay, do I buy something stupid? That's beautiful, man. It is beautiful, but it's stupid. Let's keep it real. Stupid is as stupid does. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is stupid paddock. Okay? However, the reason, the way I bought the paddock was because the real estate that I buy, not this real estate, okay, I already distributed to these people, the real estate I invested in sent me a little check. How many heard this statement before? Knowledge is power. Warren Buffett was on TV yesterday. He's 88 years old. He's worth $83 billion. Okay, I want to know where the guy is in his cycle. Everybody's got a life cycle. I'm young, I'm broke. I get a little bit of money. I'm middle class now, okay? Now I'm rich. Now I'm super wealthy, okay? And now I'm going to die. My data points will change. Everybody agree with that? Where are you getting the data from, okay? If this is probably where I'm at right now in a number of places in my life. Both my finances, my brand recognition, my international presence, my business expansion. I'm probably up on an upward slope. I might be down here and not even know it yet, okay? Because I might not know how high I could go. Probably this is a mistake. I didn't know how big I could get. So down here, what am I telling you right down here? Get your money, save it. Like if you go back and read my books, when I was 30 years old, 35 years old, I'm telling you, save your money, save all your money, save all your money. Why? I'm trying to put some money away. Then I get right here, I'm like, I need to get the money to work, right? I get here and I'm like, I need to get the people around me making money. When I'm starting this cycle, so you need to understand when you're listening to me today, leave here and you go to John Maxwell's workshop, where is John in the cycle of his life? The source of data, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was down here, animal. He was an animal. Him and Bill Gates were like carnivorous. They weren't thinking about giving money away. They didn't have any money. They were in a garage, right? Scrapping out, man, buying tacos, probably stealing a little bit. Warren Buffett down here took 500 shares of Ford Motor Company stock for free to pitch it. To tell people I have 500 shares of the IPO. In 1957, Ford Motor Company went public.
he got 500 shares from the company to say he was buying Ford Motor Company. He didn't buy Ford Motor Company. They gave him the shares. It's against the law. Okay, he's outside the statute of limitations. That's what he did then. That's not what he's doing now.
Raise your hand if you've ever given up before. Giving up and quitting are very different things. One, you never try again. The other, you might. It's a possibility. If you refuse to give up, I promise you will have a victory. And when you do, you gotta get a sweet victory day.
Most people are getting just enough to compare themselves to be better off than other people.
If you have desire in your heart, if you want to do better, you have to put your money, your energy where your commitment is.
I don't want to talk to you about execution and management and business planning and culture. I want to talk to you about money, because money, we believe, is the #1 problem in your business. It's not mission, it's not purpose, it's not all these beautiful things everybody tells you, it's not planning and organizing. I have 7 businesses. There's 7 little companies. There's been no plan. There's been minimal organizing. Tremendous speed to market, okay, is one of the things that has made us successful. But mostly, in all the businesses, every business was created around the concept, it needs to make money. Because if it doesn't make money, you'll call yourself an entrepreneur. Because you're not going to be able to call yourself a business person. And so this industry of entrepreneurs that is now so popular, I never even knew the term until like a year and a half ago. Okay? Before that, I was in California. Somebody said I was an entrepreneur 15 years ago. I'm like, well, that's code for I don't have a job. Okay? Today, look, if you want to be an entrepreneur, good, but really what you want to do is evolve to being a business person that makes money and that provides a good living for a lot of other people, right? So, #1 problem in your business is employee disengagement. It is not actually money. Money is their problem. Employee disengagement. How many of you here run a department? Let me see if you run or manage more than just yourself. Let me see a hand. How many of you here run or manage a household? Okay, good. Well, if you can't manage the household, by the way, you have disengagement at a household level. Would you agree? Husband and wife are disengaged. One's doing their own plan, this one's doing their plan. 50% of those marriages are gonna fail. Okay, that's what they say they're gonna divorce. Truth is, way more than 50% fail. People should not be looking at the divorce rate, they should be looking at the failure rate.
They're going to tell you, like they told me, and I believed it for a while. I did, but I didn't. Is, look, you're a drug addict. You can't help it. You're powerless. It's in your genetic code, and you have no control over it. Now, I'm going to tell you right now that I believe that to be complete garbage.
Yeah.
So, if I was a drug addict and it's completely out of my control, then I would have had to use drugs today.
Yeah.
And I didn't. So using drugs is a choice.
Yeah.
I would tell you, and I would tell everybody that has that addictive nature, is congratulate yourself and pat yourself on the back that you have the ability to be addicted to something.
Yeah.
And take that addiction, dude, and put it into something unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because every super successful person that I have studied and or met has the ability to be obsessed with something to the point of losing sleep,
Yeah.
to the point of I don't need to eat. I'll go in debt. I'll go bankrupt. I'll go down with this. Make this thing happen. And that's really what turned my whole life around, was just flipping the addiction, not trying to not be in control, not trying to turn it all over, just saying, hey, I'm gonna take this energy and I'm gonna dump it into work. You gotta advertise and you gotta spend money on marketing and advertising. If people don't know you, it will cost you a fortune. It cost me $400 million over the last 20 years because I was not spending money in marketing and promotion and advertising and social media. I actually thought social media didn't work.
I was so wrong about that. I started a social media company where we actually now run ads for companies so that you get known the way I've gotten known. Today with, I don't know, 1.4 million Instagram followers, 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and 6 million people on Facebook. Trust me, if you don't advertise on social media, I would call you a Dumbo. You know why? I have the right to, because I didn't think it worked either. All people, men and women, they should be more greedy about their personal dreams.
Well, what if they
Because
say,
I
well,
think
I've got
my-
these 5 kids and I've got this responsibility and...
Yeah, you do, but you also have responsibility yourself. Like, how can I, if I can't take care of me, how can I take care of somebody else?
Yeah.
And this has always been my battle cry. Like, I have to take care of me, you know, and how can I help anyone? I'm broken. I'm messed up. You know, I'm coming out of a treatment center for drug addiction. I didn't need to help anybody else. I needed to get on solid ground, you know, and I needed to make sure I wasn't going back to treatment. And then I needed to clean up the mess that I made. I needed to do this for me because, and that has been my contention now for many years. Like, just keep slowly taking care of your neighborhood until you're in another zip code. They say your network equals your net worth. Your ability to move this planet, to change things, to get investors, funding, money, is determined by who you know. If you got a money problem, I guarantee it's got something to do with your network. Okay, if you're having marriage problems, I assure you with 100% certainty, if you're having marriage problems, there's somebody in your network that believes in marriage problems. If you're having kitty problems, you know, not kitty, meow. I'm talking about if you got problems with your kids, it's because your network is having problems with chilling. If you have a time problem, I don't have enough time, I can't find enough time, I'm working too hard, I never have time, I can't find time to work out, I can't find time for the kids, I can't find time for the marriage. You have a network of people that have time problems. I thought people cost money. None of these people cost anything, okay? Do you know that only 4% of companies in America make $1 million a year? 67% of all companies in America have no employees, okay? So if you stay with no employees and you're the only person working there, I promise you, you will not make money. Less than 4% of all companies in America make $1 million a year. When I was at McDonald's and I got fired from McDonald's,
Flipping burgers or doing fries or what were you doing?
whatever they had me do, they had me do what, you know, this is what we do, right? It's a factory. And I was 16 years old and my dad had been dead 6 years. So like, you know, look, I'm uncertain. I'm 15, 16. I've just had sex for the first time. Dude, everything is so complicated.
Making $5 an hour, that's whatever it was.
No, it's probably like 280.
Wow.
Yeah, but that wasn't the problem. I was grateful for the 280, but I was awkward. I was not confident. I didn't know how to talk to people. You know, I hated the job. But if somebody was to go learn this game so you can own 50 McDonald's restaurants. Like if I would have had that idea, I'll bet you I would own a bunch of McDonald's franchises today. But I went there just for the 280.
Yeah.
Not for, hey, I want to do something. I truly think that the thing that I've suffered from the most in my life, as I look at Kobe and, you know, all these pictures of these great people, you know, dude, I just thought too small. I was worried about the $80. And I was worried about what the car dealers thought about me, that audience. I was managing the bottom half of my financial statement, not the top 1 inch. Today, I spend 95% of my time on the top, literally inch and a half, and I ignore the rest. I might spend 3% of my time on managing expenses, costs, and budgets. I spend 95% of my time on the income of the company, on how to increase the income, how to blow up the top line. Let's see if they even let me in my office, yeah. How to blow up the top line in hopes that I can spend more money in marketing, spend more money in branding, and spend more money in employees. I don't think I was built to be quiet, like they tell you when you were growing up, you know, be quiet, be seen, not heard,
or be hurt, whatever the deal is.
Yeah.
You know, don't toot your own horn, and don't get too much attention, and don't promote yourself. But look, man, God was a show off, man.
Look what he created.
Just didn't stop either.
It's not quiet.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, rainbows, you know, suns, planets, like
waterfalls, everything.
Yeah, crazy, man.
I think we love people that are grateful and have humility, but we also love to see people do great things.
Yeah.
Is there a balance that they should have? Like also be grateful and humble as opposed to kind of like the McGregor.
Dude, I love McGregor.
Yeah.
See, I like that.
That's your energy. You're on that frequency.
You know, who doesn't like it, dude? Look at how big the audience is.
Yeah.
You know, look at The Rock. He doesn't have little muscles.
Right. But he's got more humility, let's say, if you're comparing.
Oh, he knows how to play that game. Oh my God. I mean, there's nobody better than The Rock at that. Obama was unbelievable at that.
Yeah.
At staying connected. That's what I'm terrible at. I'm awful at it. I am so bad at it.
Why?
I don't know why. I don't know why I am. I just know I'm bad at it.
I don't want to talk to you about execution and management and business planning and culture. I want to talk to you about money, because money, we believe, is the #1 problem in your business. It's not mission, it's not purpose, it's not all these beautiful things everybody tells you, it's not planning and organizing. I have 7 businesses. There's 7 little companies. There's been no plan. There's been minimal organizing. Tremendous speed to market, okay, is one of the things that has made us successful. But mostly, in all the businesses, every business was created around the concept, it needs to make money. Because if it doesn't make money, you'll call yourself an entrepreneur. Because you're not going to be able to call yourself a business person. And so this industry of entrepreneurs that is now so popular, I never even knew the term until like a year and a half ago. Okay? Before that, I was in California. Somebody said I was an entrepreneur 15 years ago. I'm like, well, that's code for I don't have a job. Okay? Today, look, if you want to be an entrepreneur, good, but really what you want to do is evolve to being a business person that makes money and that provides a good living for a lot of other people, right? So, #1 problem in your business is employee disengagement. It is not actually money. Money is their problem. Employee disengagement. How many of you here run a department? Let me see if you run or manage more than just yourself. Let me see a hand. How many of you here run or manage a household? Okay, good. Well, if you can't manage the household, by the way, you have disengagement at a household level. Would you agree? Husband and wife are disengaged. One's doing their own plan, this one's doing their plan. 50% of those marriages are going to fail. Okay, that's what they say they're going to divorce. Truth is, way more than 50% fail. People should not be looking at the divorce rate, they should be looking at the failure rate. There is no shortage of success. Regardless of their culture, race, religion, economic background, or social group, most people would agree that success is vital to the well-being of the individual, the family unit, and the group, and certainly to the future survival of all these things. Look, without success, your group, your company, your goals and dreams, and even the entire civilization would cease to survive and thrive. Winning over and over again at everything in which you're involved ensures you're going to be able to further expand and survive. And it guarantees that both you and your ideas will survive, not just get by, but survive into the future. If you quit caring, then you're going to quit winning. And if you quit winning long enough in this thing called success, you're going to just plain quit. How would being successful be important to you, and how would it improve your life? Look, success is needed in order to perpetuate, to push forward people, places, and things. You must never reduce success in your mind or in a conversation to something that doesn't matter. On the contrary, you must treat success as though it's vital, it's important. Anyone that minimizes the importance of success to your future has probably given up on his or her own chances of accomplishment and is spending now his or her life trying to convince others, you in this case, to also give up. Individuals and groups must actively accomplish their goals and targets in order to carry on with their goals and targets. If not, look, they'll either cease to exist or be consumed and become part of something else. It's not enough just to play the game. It's vital you learn how to win at this game.
Because you made it this far in a video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you are different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So as a special celebration, if you put a hashtag Believe down in the comments below on this video, I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video because you are awesome. For 10 more amazing rules from Grant Cardone, check the video right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
You should be investing in yourself. Some of you got more money in Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Citibank than you do in yourself. Your self-improvement